Alrighty, fellas, it is time for another PokeMMO raid. This is Clefable over in Mount Moon in Kanto. I think it's like the first-ish ladder you kind of go through, and then you go left. You just follow a path. You can't really, miss it, essentially. But Clefable is a weird one, because as you can see, at the start of the fight, it goes for a belly drum into a rest. There's no way to stop this. From my understanding, even if you try to haze this, it doesn't actually stop it. That's what I've heard. So this just seems to be a pure DPS battle. All you want to do, like, you want to have a teammate get set up Tailwind. That's honestly helpful and nice, but mostly you just want as many fighting types as possible. As many fighting types that can do as much damage as possible. Things like Mienshao, some of the best fighting type Pokemon in Pokemon that just do pure damage. Mienshao, Medicham, Blaziken's solid. Darmanitan's pretty damn good, especially with Sheer Force, Life Orb. Gallade is fantastic with Sharpness and Sacred Sword. Just a bunch of fighting types with close combat. Your Pokemon are gonna die. There's, from my understanding, you can't really stop your mons from dying. It's not worth setting up Reflect. It's not worth doing all these things. You just want to click fighting type moves and do as much damage as possible. That it's a DPS fight. I feel like so many of these raids have been transitioned into DPS fights as opposed to like stall and setup fights like they were previously. But it also makes sense. Like, I would love to see a little bit more of a shake up in the metagame over time. I'm probably gonna go so we have Tailwind up, so I do want to use that fact and go one of my slower mons here that isn't speed boosted, probably over to Medicham. Medicham's a slower Pokemon but has really insane damage because of pure power. I do have to hit my high jump kick, unfortunately, but hopefully we go ahead and hit that. This should be a pretty easy raid. It should be an easy raid. Conkeldurr Mach Punch comes out. Honestly, good to throw up there because he's low. Are my battle damage percents off? Wait, that's so weird. Are my battle damage percents glitched? I'm not seeing battle. Is that a common glitch right now? I'm not seeing battle damage percents. That's so interesting. That's so weird. You're hitting a sub? Oh, there's technically a sub. Thank you. There you go, chat. There we go. Okay. So the high jump kick comes out from the Medicham. That's so weird. It sets up sub. Okay. Gotcha. Good call, chat. So yeah, as you can see, it's very difficult to like get through everything properly. You really just have to it's just a DPS fight. So much of these fights are DPS fights at this point. It makes sense. It's a temporary. They're temporary raids, right? Like, these are not permanent raids. They're only around for the event. So much of them end up just being pure DPS fights. This is still a 3-star raid, so there's more difficult raids on the horizon as well. Let's go into, we still have access to Tailwind, so we want to bring in slower Pokemon right now first. I'm going to go Blaziken. That should be my slowest mon still left. Go for a CC here. We get off 7% damage with the Blaziken, so that's probably around peak damage. It might not be exactly peak, but it's around peak. A Gallade goes for a CC, gets 7.4. So there we go. We see the peak. Just using any items that boost damage for the most part. Gallade doesn't really need it, so I go Scarf on that. I shouldn't have led Scarf Gallade. Don't know. I didn't know we'd have a Tailwind setup, but we did. So shouldn't lead a Scarf mon if you have Tailwind access. It's important to keep in mind. But the Expert Belts, Blaziken, Life Orb, Darmanitan, any damage boosting things, Black Belt, Mienshao. You can use Fist Plate or whatever if you have that. I used Fighting Gem on Medicham. The gems are a very good item during a lot of these raids since they are DPS battles, and then the Choice Band on the Primate. But I really recommend gems. I think gems are really good during a lot of these raids since it is such a DPS fight. You just want to get as much damage off before your Pokemon dies. That's all a lot of this is. And then bringing the proper Pokemon, having the proper builds, etc. So we're looking pretty good here. It's at 33% HP. It's killing all of our mons with with the belly drum. I'm gonna go from the CC with my Blaziken here. Big CCs, just big fighting type damage across the board. You just want max damage. I think prioritizing sustain a lot of the times in the current raid format is a little bit of a mistake, unfortunately. Mistakes that I still make. I think I put a citrus berry recently on a heal block Gothitelle, and I just shouldn't have done that. I should have just put Scarf on my Gothitelle to make sure we get that heal block off even more guaranteed. So there's a lot of things like that. Like, if I ever talk about mistakes when it comes to raids, I'm not trying to shame anyone or make anyone feel bad. Raids are really difficult. People can get a little, you know, pretentious or pompous about raids. Dude, we're trying to learn all these strategies on the fly, usually within 24 hours or so. Like, you know, it's tough. It's tough for any kind of player, let alone the average player who only has like 2 hours maybe or less a day to play, right? So just keep that in mind. Be patient with people. It's everybody is playing a raid right now and making micro adjustments and like improving. That's the big thing, is you probably should always be improving. If you lose a raid and you don't change your team, you're probably doing something wrong, unless if you're random queuing, it might just be the team, and you have to just get the quantity, the reps in for that, right? So our Tailwind is down, I believe. Pretty easy fight once again. I could go Drain Punch there for guaranteed damage. I don't really care about the HP or sustain at all, but it's 100% accuracy, I believe, versus this high jump kick is 90%. But I think it's better to just go ahead and go for the extra damage here. And then I have 2 other fighting types in the back. My high jump kick thankfully hits, doing 7.4% damage. Huge. I was stuck on this one and I don't know why. I think a lot of people right now, the biggest mistake that I see in raids is people trying to be overly strategic and trying to do too many things. Too many utility Pokemon, too many, you know, setup moves, etc. A lot of it right now is just damage. You just want max damage. I can't press enough that it's a DPS fight right now. So that's the number one mistakes I see, are people trying to do too much utility because they aren't confident in their ability to do damage. You guys do damage. So there we go. Clefable raid defeated. Yeah, Absol kind of had that problem. There's a lot of mons like that are just DPS fights. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and catch Clefable. You can catch with any. I just use Pokeballs because it's just the cheapest. Let's go check the IVs. 2 times 31. But in the defenses, this is honestly an extremely good IV Clefable. We don't need the attack stat, so that's good. 25 plus HP, 20 plus special attack, 25 plus speed, 31 defenses. The IV placements on this Clefable couldn't have been better, honestly. That's actually like so amazing. So pretty happy with that catch. That is the Clefable fight. I'm not ending the stream, but I am ending the video. Thank you guys for watching. Like the video if it was helpful. Dislike if it wasn't. Subscribe to my channel for PokeMMO videos every single day and raid videos like this. I do recommend Cav when it comes to purely raid guides. I can hopefully add a little more extra detail and depth and etc. But if you want succinct, proper, informative, educated guide, Cav, I've been shouting out all events, makes the best quick raid guides in Pokemon, in my opinion. Check them out on YouTube. CAAV, I believe. But subscribe to me, subscribe to Cav. Discord's down below, and I'll see you guys with the next raid very soon. I have a lot of raids to catch up on today.